We stopped tilling, I don't even know, way before my time, was when they switched from tilling pretty much every other row, every other year, to not tilling at all, after a very significant rain event, and having that rain event, a certain section of the vineyard, basically a foot of topsoil just washed out and into the gully and was gone, and that kind of opened some eyes, and so they stopped tilling. And now I've taken it a little bit further and have reduced what I call unnecessary mowing, and introduced no-till cover crops. Ideally 2 cycles per year, so we would seed in late August, early September, right before harvest. Put in a blend of winter hardy cover crops that then start growing in fall and kind of go dormant once the soil cools down enough and temperatures just freeze a little bit. Although rye is, I mean, if it's just above 0, rye will still keep growing, which is fantastic. And then that winter covered grows up in spring and usually matures, I'd say like late May. We then mulch it just with a flail mower and leave all the trash on the soil, and ideally seed right into it with a warm season blend, higher diversity, lots of flowering species, species that produce biomass. I have some legumes in there to fix nitrogen, and some brassicas to kind of naturally fumigate the soil a little bit, deal with nematodes, and hopefully also some gophers when they bite into it. And then come summer, if and when it matures, we'll mulch again and seed the winter cover into it. So it's kind of like this cycle of what we did this year. This is actually has been mowed and reseeded because it's in a block with overheads, but I don't want to run the overheads to farm the cover crop. It's still the vineyard that needs the water, and I don't want to overwater, because that brings a whole set of other problems with it. The vines are doing just fine, whereas the ground is drying out just slightly, but it's grown back nicely. Some of the grain has come back, which is probably going to come and haunt me, but right now in this row I would say we probably have like 75% ground cover of living ground cover, mainly alfalfa and then some chicory, which is great. Alfalfa fixes nitrogen, and it's so bushy that really the soil underneath all of this stays really nice and cool, just while it also captures carbon. Anything that's green takes up carbon and then puts it in the ground, leaches it through the roots, and adds to the organic matter. And everything that's dead and on the ground also protects it. But then once it does start raining again, hopefully it'll just start slowly breaking down and feeding the soil microbiome.